The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
NFC South yesterday. Today we're doing the AFC West. So started with the defending Super Bowl champions yesterday. We'll start with the defending AFC champions and the Super Bowl runner-ups, the Kansas City Chiefs. In the AFC West, best, worst case scenarios. Kansas City Chiefs, worst case scenario, they're still a Super Bowl contender.
So are we starting worst case scenario or best case?
I don't know. Where you want to start?
Best.
Best?
It's first on the.
Okay.
On the
what?
It's on the title.
Oh, yeah.
Best.
Yeah.
First.
So the Kansas City Chiefs, best case scenario, is they just run it back. Again.
Kermit, score, repeat. Just keep doing what you've been doing.
With Patrick Mahomes, you cannot go wrong, especially when they continue to surround him with the best talent in the NFL.
I'm a little nervous about the receiving corps because there's a lot of untested guys. Mm-hmm. Sammy Watkins at the end of the day, and look, I know a lot of people give him a lot of shit. You still have to honor that dude. Mm-hmm. Mecole Hardman's very fast, and I feel fine about Hardman. I feel fine at the 1 and the 2. It's everything from there that makes me a little bit nervous.
So
because everybody's jumped up a step, and
so
I'm not.
Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, who's the other one?
And look, I'm nitpicking here because there's not a whole lot. If you look at the Chiefs roster, there's not a whole lot to go. Well, man, they suck at that. There's not a lot of that.
Linebacker
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That's it.
That's it.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That's really it. I look at the fact now you've added a second tight end that they're just so hyped on in Noah Gray. Mm-hmm. The line is so much better. I don't see any way this team's not 13 wins.
I agree.
I don't see a path to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see a path because they play a pretty tough schedule. Their schedule this year is not great. At least half of that schedule are going to be hard games to win. They've got the Browns, the Ravens, they got the Chargers twice, they got Buffalo Bills, the Washington Football Team, Tennessee Titans, Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. Those are all teams that I expect to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. The schedule's tough.
That's
here's the problem.
Schedule.
Every team you just said, save two. What's the biggest drawback? They don't stop the pass well. Mm-hmm. Dallas Cowboys secondary is not good. There's not a snowball's chance in hell they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I just look at this team and go, all right, you have some defense. Do what?
Vegas did last year. And they suck a lot.
Just stop that.
Their secondary was bad.
Not worse than the Cowboys.
Worse than the Cowboys secondary
Not worse
this
than
year?
the Cowboys. Not worse than the Cowboys.
Okay.
Not. It's just not. I look at Kansas City and I think you could get got by somebody in the division. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're losing more than one game in the division. And you could lose a couple of those, Baltimore Raven-y type games. Mm-hmm. Problem with Baltimore is I don't see Baltimore outscoring you because I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop you. I mean, you have the best tight end in the NFL. You have one of the best receivers in the NFL, and your second receiver is faster, almost as fast as the first one. It's just a wide-open offense. It's going to be really good. And looking at the schedule and how things lay out for them, I see no way they're not in the AFC title game again. I can't tell you they're going to win it. I think Buffalo will beat them this year in the AFC title game. Mm-hmm. But other than that, that's about the only team I look at and go, I think they could consistently beat you.
Yeah. I have a clear-cut top three in the entire AFC, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and the Cleveland Browns. Who did I leave off the list?
You put the Cleveland Browns in, so it's an invalid list.
Stop that. I can't wait. I cannot wait for the Cleveland Browns to win 12 to 13 games this year.
Yeah, and then go in the playoffs and be at home with Baker Mayfield after one.
Uh-huh. Just like last year, right?
They beat a broken Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Still won a playoff game.
Woo. Yay. You going to hang a banner for your one win over a depleted Pittsburgh Steelers team?
Oh, I'm surprised
you
they
know why?
already.
Because you're the Cleveland fucking Browns. Of course you are, because it's like your first playoff win in my lifetime.
Look, if the Phoenix Suns can win the NBA title, then the Cleveland Browns can win the Super Bowl.
Not true. The architect of the Phoenix Suns is Chris Paul. Yours is Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass. It's going to be a hard pass from me.
Anyway, continuing with the Kansas City Chiefs here, the thing that killed them in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay last year was their offensive line. The defense was just too strong for Tampa Bay. They were in there harassing Patrick Mahomes left and right. We knew they had to do something about the offensive line. And guess what? They blew it up and then replaced them with better players. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen a team go in and say, okay, you four guys, you're pretty good. But we're going to try something different. And then go out and bring in Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney. You're getting Duvernay Tardif back from the coronavirus.
I'm just going to tell you, be a little wary of Orlando Brown.
Okay.
He's being treated like he's much better than he was. He was a good left tackle. Mm-hmm. This is not like this is not I feel like people are making him out to be Jonathan Ogden, and he's not. Mm-hmm. He's very good. I like him having Tooney next to him. Just remember I said that.
Kyle Long, who got hurt already, I don't have very high hopes for his season this year, but I think he's more of an ancillary piece for them now. That could be a revolving door on the right side of the line between him and Mike Remmers. They've got another one too.
Creed Humphrey's the one that I look at and just go, you're going to find a way into this lineup pretty quick.
On the interior of the line?
I think he's the starting center by week 6.
Okay.
Or he winds up replacing one of the guards. Mm-hmm. He's going to get in ball games. He is going to crack this tape because he's too damn good. Mm-hmm. I loved him coming into the draft process.
Right. And I feel like Kansas City has drafted well over the last couple of years.
They have.
Other than the Clyde Edwards-Helaire thing. Wouldn't have done that last year in the first round, but I feel like they've drafted really well. The offensive line, the offense is no question. No questions about it. The defense, on the other hand, they still need some help on the linebacker core.
I agree. That's the biggest weakness on the team.
It's the one thing that they have not been able to figure out yet.
But I do like Willie Gay. I like Nick Bolton. Mm-hmm. I think they got better. Nick Bolton's not the athletic linebacker necessarily that I was looking for this team,
right.
But he is a thumper, and I liked him a lot coming into the draft. Mm-hmm. That's a guy that Tucker Franklin, our buddy that works for Sports Illustrated with the Chiefs, turned me on to Nick Bolton winding up in Kansas City, and I never got away from it. Mm-hmm. Now, I did not think they were going to get him where they got him. I thought they were going to take him with 31. But, yeah, they've drafted well. Mm-hmm. I really like this team. There's one thing I have to talk about because maybe it's that I just don't see it.
Okay.
L'Jarius Sneed. I hear this dude, I'm hearing his name put with other names that I don't think it belongs with. Good corner. Not trying to undervalue him there. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are people that think he's going to be a top 8 corner in the league, and that's insanity to me. He's not that good.
Yeah.
And another thing, he kind of has he has a little bit of the Darrelle Revis syndrome to me. He's clearly the best cover guy on this team. And so you just don't throw at him. Throw at somebody else. The secondary is not overly deep. Yeah, I think there's some overvaluing of L'Jarius Sneed.
What are you saying? You don't believe in Bo Pete Hayes?
No, I don't.
Or Keys? Bo Pete Keys?
Bo Pete Keys.
That was a new one this morning on me. Bo Pete Keys, 7th round pick last year out of Tulane. Anyhow, I agree with you. I mean, the secondary is not necessarily scary. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is scary.
Yes.
And I like Travarius Ward.
He's fine.
L'Jarius Sneed is I think he's a rising star in this league, but I don't know if I'd be ready to put him in the top 10 of corners.
Brent Connell said it on the Facebook stream.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could benefit from somebody like Steven Nelson. I think having another guy back there would help.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody that you could plug and play at linebacker, and there's just so little that they need. We try to do one thing they could do between now and the beginning of the season. For me, they need a running back.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they need a guy. Edwards-Helaire can be a piece of a rotation. I would like to see them bring in a vet guy. And there's one, and I would like it so much.
What's that?
It's Todd Gurley.
You would like Todd Gurley on this team. Why?
I would. It's a similar offense to what he thrived in. And having Edwards-Helaire would mean he wouldn't have to touch the ball so many damn times a game. Mm-hmm. Atlanta put him in a position to fail last year. I think Todd Gurley could be what they wanted out of Le'Veon Bell last year. But he may not have a knee left on either side of his body because he has been looked at by 4 teams and they've all gone, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're okay. Which is unfortunate, but that's the life of a running back in the NFL. Your lifespan is not that long.
Worst case scenario for the Kansas City
Worst
Chiefs.
case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs is, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to project injuries, but
Defense loses championship.
Yeah, the defense will allow too many points. They will lose a lot of close games. And
Well, they're not going to lose a lot of games, period.
well, not a lot of games, but
They'll lose a few close and they'll get beat in the playoffs because the team outscores them. Buffalo Bills.
Right. The most they could lose in the season if the defense is atrocious is what?
5.
I agree.
12-5 is probably the worst. I mean, I might be able to get them to 11-6, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't really
to
see a
6.
path to it. You have the best quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. I'm the quarterback guy. I'm the guy that I don't really give a damn about the rest of your team. I care about your quarterback.
Right.
And the pieces around Mahomes are good enough. I would say at worst you're looking 12-5 and get beat in the playoffs. And I don't think there's that many teams in the AFC that can beat them.
Right.
Baltimore probably could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tennessee could. I don't think Indianapolis could. I don't think Cleveland can. I mean, for me, it's the Buffalo Bills and it's the Baltimore Ravens. That's about it. That's it. That's all I think could beat them in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Not saying that they would. I'm saying that they could.
I will say that I think the Browns and the Titans could beat them, but
I don't.
It's
You get Baker, I get Pat Mahomes.
Right, you'd need something.
You get Ryan
fluky to
Tannehill, I
happen.
get Pat Mahomes. Mm-hmm. Advantage me by a lot.
Mm-hmm. With all of those tough matchups on the schedule, though, I mean, early on in the schedule, I like the fact that they have tough games right out the gate.
I do too.
They start out with the Browns. They start out with the Ravens in week 2. They got the Chargers the week after that. I mean, that's 3 real solid teams. 2 of them that could be real contenders in the AFC. And I like the fact that you're getting those out of the way early.
Kelvin Joyner said Cleveland would have the pass rush. I don't disagree with you. Problem is you get the ball, and then I give it to a 5'9" quarterback who does Progressive insurance commercials. I'm going to pass. There's never been an athlete in my lifetime I've hated more than Baker Mayfield. I never thought anybody...
Oh, you were talking about Baker Mayfield. I thought you were talking about Pat Mahomes.
I never thought anybody would beat Russell Westbrook. Baker Mayfield has. Clearly, like by a lot.
Yeah.
It would take 3 Russell Westbrooks to equal my hatred of Baker Mayfield.
Which is crazy to me because he's not the worst quarterback in the league.
No, but
If he
he's treated like he's elite, and he's not. He's an inaccurate quarterback that's been given the best weapons in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times have we seen this? How many times do we have to do this before people figure it out? How many quarterbacks have you liked on a rookie deal, and then all of a sudden they get paid, and you go, oh, there are deficiencies there. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins. Baker Mayfield is a less talented Kirk Cousins. It's exactly what he is.
Okay, I can go down that path with you.
I'm good. That's not a Super Bowl winner to me. If you look at the guys that have won Super Bowls in the last 10 years, it's a whole lot of Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes. There's not a lot of Kirk Cousins. Who else can I talk shit about? I'm going to get to one. Jay Cutler, Jake Delhomme,
Kyle Orton.
Yep, that one will do. There's just not a lot of those.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but if you put Kirk Cousins with this Cleveland Browns team, they'd be a Super Bowl team, right?
I'm still going to say no, but yes, more so than they are now. But to me, I look at it and just go, Cleveland's clearly better, or Kansas City's clearly better.
No doubt.
They're the best team in the AFC. Worst case scenario, I think they get beat in the divisional round. Mm-hmm. Somebody just catches them. Mm-hmm. That's worst case scenario. Chuck G asked in the comments, DeChambeau versus Baker, who do I hate more? I think the world would explode. I think a blood would start coming out of my ears, and I would not be able to answer that question because it is painfully close.
Because you'd have to say something nice about either one of them.
Nope. Nope. Never will.
You're not going to do it.
Refuse.
Who is less of a douche?
Good Lord. God, that's like asking which one of your kids you like more. It's just, I just don't know that that's even an answerable question. I think they both max out the douche scale.
I'm going to say it's Baker Mayfield by a hair. He is less of a douche than Bryson DeChambeau.
I'm going to go Bryson DeChambeau. And that hurt me to say.
Yeah. Anyway, worst case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs, they're still going to they'll still win the division at 12-5. They will probably end up losing in the second round of the playoffs. Hell, they might even make it to the AFC title game. Worst case scenario. It is what it is.
I agree with you.
And
my worst case scenario, I had to nitpick to high holy hell, was they get beat by the Ravens in the divisional round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I don't see a way they're lower than the 2 seed in the AFC. And you give me one of those wild card teams against this? Holy shit. Pat might break a playoff record for how many yards he passes for in one game.
So the one move you would make is Todd Gurley being added to this team?
It's Steven Nelson, Todd Gurley.
Okay.
I wouldn't hate both. And I don't think, I've always thought Steven Nelson was a little overrated, but just a vet presence. Mm-hmm. You're counting on a lot of young guys in the secondary, and that makes me a little bit nervous. Mm-hmm. I'd love to add a linebacker. There's just not one that's better than Anthony Hitchens.
No, the one that I keep thinking of is Melvin Ingram, and he's not really a scheme fit for them.
No, he's a 3-4 outside linebacker.
Right.
He's going back to the Chargers anyway.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a minute.
We'll get to him in just a minute. But he's the only, because they need to do something. They need to have a middle linebacker or a defensive end. One of those two, I think they need to add something.
I think they're fine on the edge.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
You're going to see more Chris Jones at defensive end, by the way, just so you know.
Okay. Well, then
I've heard that forever.
Well, that will take that will take care of part of that problem.
Yeah, is that they think he can play D end. You have Jaron Reed, you have Derek Nottie on the inside, and that's a formidable line.
I like that. And then and then Kando can.
Now, whether or not Chris Jones can do that, I don't know. He's super athletic, but he's always played on the interior. I don't know if he can play a one technique on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Kansas City Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl again. There's very little doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. It's a real probability, and the Buffalo Bills will be probably the only team to stand in their way of doing that.